start this day. And if you're here to share Love Morning, well, I hope that you will stay. Hi, I'm John Halcyon-Stin. This is Love Morning. This is a daily practice of gratitude and connection and kindness and just making sure we just take a pause to figure out who do I want to be today? How can I get out of maybe my natural patterns of looking for what's wrong, focusing on the crap, getting too self-centered and instead pulling our head up, noticing the people and the world around us, and actively trying to be a connector, be a agent of goodness in the world. So if you're here, please say hello, say thank you, say hello. I guess you could say thank you. Let's say hello and interesting. Good morning, Abigail and Gerbot and Jason. It is a sunny day in San Diego, California. And I am grateful for a successfully set up new desktop system. I now have 2 monitors, a ball chair. So I'm really feeling good about the hopefully good posture, minimizing the strain on my bulge disc and bone spur area of my neck. Hello, Repo in Oklahoma. Good morning. Yeah, it is sunny here. There's people, sounds like they're mowing the lawn outside. I am grateful that today I have plans to see my mom, at least maybe my dad, and we're going to the zoo. I have some passes that expire on Wednesday, and so I was thinking it would be fun. First, I asked Lisa if she wanted to go, but Lisa's not a fan of zoos, and she had other plans. And then I was thinking, who do I want to hang out with? Who would it be nice to spend more time with? And I was like, my parents. So I'm grateful that I have a relationship with them that is such that I will enjoy and look forward to hanging out with my parents today and going to the zoo and getting a meal. I mean, I'm not sure if there's much good food there. Get a corn dog or something. I think they have some actual restaurants. I don't know. But it'll be fun just to, throw feces at monkeys and go see San Diego Zoo a little bit today, just for a brief visit. I'm looking forward to it. Sarah. Well, good morning, Sarah. I'm glad that you're here. What are you grateful for? Anyone have something that they're grateful for they'd like to share? Jennifer says, good morning, and I hope you're feeling better. It's interesting. Like I thought, I was hoping that I would get this shot and I would be back to I would feel great. And so I would have a window where this medicine, the steroids were in my neck and just making me feel like 100%. And during that time I would be, building up muscles and stuff. That is not what happened. So I still feel injured. The end of the day, especially, I tend to be some pain. I'm still, I guess I'm not in such bad pain that I'm icing. Oh, hello, leaf blower person. Not sure if you can hear that. It's loud for me. Yeah, so I'm in good spirits. I definitely can't use my arm for much, and reaching for things or putting my head down still really makes it flare up. So I'm in an uncertain stage. I'm not sure how much I should be doing. I still need to be resting and healing. So I guess I am feeling better, and I'm also not feeling great. Hey, Painting. Painting says the San Diego Zoo is awesome good. So I wonder, Lisa, who is not a fan of zoos. I wonder if she would be so critical of the San Diego Zoo. We also have in San Diego the Safari Park, which has these huge open spaces for animals, which is like beautiful. They've got these. You take a tram like around these big areas where different animals are kind of all out on these plains and stuff. It's pretty. It's pretty. It doesn't feel at all like cages. Brent is grateful for another wonderful weekend at our laughing place with my sweet love, Susan. Our laughing place, is that a place that actually a physical place, or is that a place that you join in the heart? Because I love the idea of a laughing place. Thank you, Jennifer. Good spirits matter. I think you're very right. That was Sarah sharing, grateful that my mother has made a full recovery from a stroke. Oh, that has got to feel good. Thank you for sharing. Abigail is feeling very grateful for my cousins today. I got to hang out with them over the weekend after our lives took us different directions. It was so nice to reconnect. How cool. I am grateful also that this next weekend is for Saturdays. So next weekend will be the 14th anniversary for Saturdays, and it's just been kind of in a state of appreciation and gratitude for how many volunteers have come through our space. And every month we do we circle up and I share a few words of, how important it is to when you do good, not because for them, you do good because it makes you feel good. It's just, and so I'm just grateful for the number of people that I've gotten to touch in that way and be inspired by seeing so many people in acts of service. Paney pointing out that the San Diego Zoo does tons of animal research and breeding that is not possible in the wild. Right. There's some of the good guys. They also have, interestingly enough, their plant collection is more valuable than their animal collection. All sorts of wacky cacti and cool trees and succulents and stuff. I'm actually looking forward to it. I bet it's going to be a beautiful day there. Oh, I see. Brent saying that Laughland is a California resort in Land O'Lakes, Florida. Wait. Oh, clothing optional resort, not a Colorado resort. I see. In Land O'Lakes, Florida. Cool. That's got to be bittersweet for it to be the last week. But I'm how grateful to have so many memories and experiences. Anyone else have any more gratitude to share today? I am grateful for just lots of tenderness with my beloved Lisa. We share, at the end of the day, we share what I appreciate about you is, or something I appreciate about you is every night, or sometimes during the day, just kind of when we notice it. And yesterday, there were two moments of song that I was appreciating. One, when I was in the kitchen and she was organizing the garage, and she was so into it and so enjoying cleaning and organizing the garage. She was like singing and going, yeah, oh, and I do not have that reaction to cleaning and organizing. So I'm very grateful that my partner can legitimately enjoy a task that is a chore for me. And then later she was singing along to a friend of hers demo tape, singing harmonies, and I really like the music. And then hearing my beloved's voice so beautifully over the top of these songs I really love, I was just feeling so grateful, so appreciating how she adds song to my life. Kiri, good morning. Kiri is grateful that I got enough sleep last night. I was dragging ass all day yesterday, and I feel so much better today. Nice. So, what are your guys' thoughts on mouth breathing at night? Or are you back sleepers? Are you snorers? How do you sleep at night? I am a mouth breather at night. And so lately I have been taping my mouth shut. There's all sorts of products, that you can buy specifically for it. There's a hostage tape one, but I got a roll of 3M tape, I think it's a medical tape. And I just cut strips of it. And when I go to bed, I say, "Good night, Lisa. No more talking for me." Give her a kiss. And then I put some tape over my mouth, and it basically just sticks to my lip and holds them closed and keeps me from snoring. And it makes me breathe through my nose. Now, sometimes my nose is not as clear. Well, actually, my nose is never as clear as my mouth. It's always easier flow of air in through my mouth. And so sometimes that is on the border of making it so that I can't sleep. And I'm going to be looking into like wearing those breathe right strips maybe, or there's even like some like spice things that you like take a spoonful of and it opens up your nostrils. I might try that too. I don't know. But I know that it's way better for you to breathe through your nose. And it does it left to my own devices when I'm asleep, I will breathe through my mouth. Now I don't snore unless I go to my back. If I go to my back, I snore, but even so, I'm trying. Gerbot is grateful for the opportunity to connect with friends over the weekend. That's right, it's Monday. Happy end of the weekend. Joyce is grateful for not one, but 2 surprise packages from friends, helping me feel less alone. Nice. Kiri is also grateful for a consistent routine, helps me understand how badly the unhealthy behaviors actually affect me. That's awesome. Yeah, it's one of the reasons why I shaved my head was to try to like give myself a visual reminder that I need to be snapping out of old habits if I even find myself in them, and I need to really embrace some new different things, whether that be mouth tape. I have a new chair, so I try to learn to sit differently, new setup. So I'm really focusing on my posture as much as possible. And I would like to integrate more, not just defensive healing things, but more productive, strengthening things. And, but I'm also at this chapter, I'm really letting go of a lot of pressure on myself. I noticed that this weekend, I think it was Saturday, it was a beautiful day. Lisa was doing something. I was kind of done with the morning stuff here, and it was gorgeous out. And I had this kind of pang of like, what are you going to do with this day? How are you going to use this day? Maybe it's Sunday. Like, how are you going to use this day well? And it's not uncommon for me to like get in a bad headspace if I feel like I'm not using a good day well. I'm not being productive, or I'm not seeing friends, or I'm not doing something productive. And I'm really been good lately at being like, hey, keep tranquilo. Like, you just need to keep it low key. That if you quote unquote waste time, but you are being kind to your body, and you watch all 5 seasons of the show Ballers, don't beat yourself up. In fact, good for you for intentionally doing minimal things. And a couple 15 minutes twice a day with traction and not doing destructive things. Okay, I think I'm good with that. By the way, I did watch all 5 seasons of Ballers over the last couple weeks. I can't believe I even watched an episode of Ballers, and I wouldn't even say, oh man, it was so good. It just was like candy. It was like entertaining at a level that was low enough that I could watch it when I wasn't really caring much. Now it's interesting, like some shows if I'm hurting, some shows are not good enough to hold my attention, like, and some shows, if they're so good, I don't want to watch them like while I'm laying down on a little screen. So it's this balance of how much pain versus how quality entertainment do I do I embrace. Uh, Abigail suggesting that breathe right strips and mouth tape is a game changer. Could also be a deviated septum. Yeah, I thought about that. It never even occurred to me, but I know a lot of people that have had surgeries and been so happy. Um, Jennifer's grateful for no more cut hours at work. Awesome. Curious, and I learned how to release pressure and slow down in 2023. My mental health is so much better. Great morning, Pierre. Good morning. Good to see you. Ooh, Abigail's addicted to Survivor. I don't know if I've seen that since the first season. Reality shows in general, I don't watch. And there's a couple of reasons for that. One is the way they edit through commercials, where I feel like a 30-minute show could be told in 10 minutes. And the way they like foreshadow something, or like, and they come back from a commercial and they go back and tell parts of the story again. At least this is my experience. I'm just like, come on. And also, the way it's edited to create narratives, and the way that I know that there are writers who, maybe not so much for Survivor, I'm not sure, but so many reality shows are clearly scripted, or at least orchestrated. Producers are saying, okay, hey, why don't you, you're gonna decide to go spy on your ex-girlfriend. And so then they film and go, I'm gonna go spy on my ex-girlfriend. Yeah, it's like, how do they have a camera inside the house of the ex-girlfriend unless this was all orchestrated in advance? So they get the angle of the guy coming to the door from the inside. Come on. At the same time, I do not judge anyone's choice of entertainment, with the exception of Kardashians, because I find that it can be you need to be in a really healthy place to ingest lavish lifestyles and it not make you feel like you are poor. And I think that's a really dangerous thing. We often get slipped into comparison and become unsatisfied with something that we would have been totally happy with if we didn't know that there was something better. Good morning, Mingle. I love you too. Brent says Catfish is a favorite reality show. I don't think I've seen that. As a multiple catfish victim, I think I may have seen an episode, or maybe it was a movie called Catfish. I don't know. It is triggering. Mingle is grateful for a great family reunion last night with my family so they could see Charlie and her new boyfriend. Lots of kids and heaps of fun. Oh, that's the good stuff. Yeah. Well, speaking of family, my gratitude, I'm grateful I get to see my folks today. And grateful I had a really nice phone call with my brother yesterday. I very much treasure my immediate family. Mingle saying, I didn't even notice the effects of slowing down until recently. I move slower and more peacefully through the world. It's most noticeable in busy places like grocery stores. Interesting. I think that being injured has certainly made me more aware of when I'm moving too quickly. If I'm consciously moving slowly, it is way easier for me to avoid any movements that hurt. I had this awareness that when I was at the Pink Heart fundraiser and I was wearing the neck brace, which also helps remind me, I was moving almost like Tai Chi style around. I was just like, Hello. Like not, and uh, that is not a natural state. And so when I fall into more this kind of movement is when I find myself reaching for something or picking up something without thinking, and then I slip backwards in my healing. Oh, did I say? I'm sorry, I confused Kiri and Mingle. My apologies. I saw the word in my mind. I don't know what I when I mix it up in my words. My apologies. Chris has a gifting question. Well, gifting is an unconditional activity, and we aren't supposed to be attached to the outcome. Have you ever put effort into a gift and somehow it fell flat to you in how they received it? Most deaf. And yeah, that's one of the yes, it's easy to kind of get reminded that, oh, I guess that was not a true gift because I was attached to, I really wanted them to be thankful, or I really wanted this to make them happier, and it didn't. Um, I really wanted them to appreciate this special thing that I did for them. Um, I'm not thinking of in a specific example right now, but I certainly, uh, yeah, I've had to remind myself that there's multiple levels of the joy of gifting. The highest level is when you see them happy, or because of what you did, and that makes you even happier that you did it. But there has to be that reminder at some level that I did it because it's what I do. I am I'm someone who tries to fill in the cracks in the world. I'm someone who tries to elevate and make people happier. And whether they are or not made happier does not diminish my identity and my peace from knowing that I'm trying. But it's like being fed through an IV. You don't feel like satiated from the nourishment because you didn't get to eat it, but it's like, maybe that's a bad metaphor, but it's like, okay, yeah, I guess I got the nutrients that I needed, but I'm not feeling it. You're welcome, Chris. Good morning, Sandy. Good morning, Jax. Jennifer is watching Shut Eye on Hulu. It's intense. I take it back. I am watching a reality show. Welcome to Wrexham. I take it back. I got Hulu just so I could watch that show about Ryan Reynolds and his partner, the guy from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, that decided to buy a low-level football team in Wales and then try to raise it in the rankings and raise up the community around it. So far, I think it's fantastic. It was recommended by several people who I think we're like-minded. And so, I mean, if you're not familiar with the show, it's like a real life Ted Lasso, except the community is stoked that the Americans are coming in to help them. Anyone else have any more gratitude before we have a hug? I'm grateful that I get to start the day with you, start the week with you. Grateful to be reminded that there are fellow like-minded, open-hearted people out here in the world. Moosecock, good morning. Moosecock sharing that it was hard for me to receive gifts without wanting to give something back, but I now work on the happiness of the person gifting to me, and that is beautiful to see. Yeah, receiving is a totally different talent, skill, practice than gifting. And there's like I'm good at receiving items. If you want to send me a book, or a sticker, or I'm like, I'd love to receive this gift. If someone offers their time and labor that is a harder one for me to receive and not feel like I'm, yeah, or ask for help. That is a harder one, knowing that, uh, yeah, I don't know. It's tough. And part of it, in the relationships that are your close relationships, part of what makes that work so much better and is really practicing compassionate, nonviolent communication and learning to trust each other that, hey, if I ask you for something, I have to trust you that you will say no. If you're gonna have any resentment or any issue that you don't wanna do it, then you just tell me no. And I have to trust you that I will ask and you will say no. I trust your no's, I trust your yeses, so that then we can just have this communication. And I don't start going, well, I don't want to ask unless I'm sure they'll say yes. It's a whole ask versus guess stuff. And you got to work on, consent culture of saying, oh no, thank you for asking. But it's actually, I'm that would be a little too inconvenient for me, but maybe another time. Or just actually no, you don't even need an excuse or a reason. Hey, can you come pick me at the airport? No, I can't. Thank you. Cool. We're good. I asked, you answered. That's how it works. There's no, how rude. Abigail, we're grateful to be with you too. Kirish saying that receiving is a divine feminine skill, and most people suppress their feminine energy because it's seen as weaker and less effective as being in the masculine. Yeah, totally. I think that the feeling independent and strong, is something that I have felt an identity and a strength from, and a confidence in. And there is a vulnerability and, yes, a feeling of weakness to acknowledge that I need help or I'd like help even. I've told the story in the past. I was carrying a pop-up pretty heavy, and I was kind of frustrated. I kind of got signed up to do more work for my partner at the time than I wanted to, and I wanted to leave this event, and I'm carrying this big heavy thing. And a friend that I don't know well, but he's like, "Hey, need any help?" And I'm like, "No, I'm good." And then he paused. He said, "Is there anything I could do that would minimize, or is there anything I could do that could make that easier?" And then I was like, "Actually, yeah, this would be a lot easier if you help me." But by him saying, "Do you need any help?" my answer was automatically, I can do this. And I had to rephrase it in my, like allow in my mind, could they make this easier? Oh, certainly so. But therein lies the acknowledgement or confession of weakness. And in my mind, I need to have a whole word change to bypass my "I am strong" masculine voice. Oh yeah, Christopher says, I witnessed your struggle at the pink party asking for rides. That was great because we talked about during our workshop about asking versus guessing. And we had a plan for how people are getting home, but we also had an audible of like, well, we'll see if people want to stay, and if people want to stay, who's going to drive. And I was trying to figure out who was staying and who had the possibility of giving rides to other people. And I went up to Chris and I was like, "Hey, so do you know what time you're leaving?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm not sure." And I was kind of like, "Well, how many seats do you have in your car?" I think he said, "Just ask." Something like, and I was like, "Oh, can you bring anyone else back up to Solana Beach?" And he said, "Yeah, I can drive someone." I'm like, "Okay, great." But that was great because I was caught in I don't want to obligate you. I don't want to ask a question that you will feel like you have to say yes, and then you'll feel like, ugh, now I got to drive, and I didn't want to. And so that was a really good example. Thanks, Chris. Good morning, Amy. And good morning, Hope. Moosecock pointed out that Christmas is cray-cray. It's not gifting, it's give and take. A friend of mine was teaching his kid about receiving gifts, so he got him an onion wrapped. It's about an acknowledgement of the person saw this and thought of you, and that's special. Thanks. Yeah, I am now known in my family for among my nephews of being not investing too much in Christmas gifts because there's the expectation of it. That's not so much fun. The just ask, as I said, that's a total that's Fight Club line. When his apartment gets blown up and he's totally talking around it, and Tyler's like, just ask. So it's okay if it's ask, just ask. He has to ask him, well, can I stay with you? If you have not seen Fight Club, the film, I highly recommend it. The book is incredible too, but the movie is one of the few films that does the book justice and is adds its own level of brilliance. Ed Norton, Brad Pitt. Okay, last chance for some gratitude. I am grateful to start this day with everyone. Grateful for the gift that we give one another with our attention and our time. So wherever you are, give yourself a big squeeze. Feel us all holding you as you hold us, sinking us into this shared human experience, recognizing we're doing the best we can. So let's slow it down. Let's be kind. Let's try to connect with ourselves and with others today as we take a deep breath in. On behalf of Grandpa Caleb and each one of us, thanks for being here for today's Love Morning Gratitude Gathering. Love you. Have a beautiful day.